friendship, the team.
Turning out to be like a murderer or something. And like, welcome back to Drive Like a Gal, episode 15.
Yeah. Why do I feel like I've just been here?
Yeah, because we were last week. But we actually haven't posted it yet. Oh, like right now in this timeline.
Yeah. I also feel like because we were like editing it yesterday and watching it all yesterday and doing that, I feel like I was like there. So
yeah.
Like,
and now
we're back. We are back.
Yeah, Mexico Grand Prix. Mexico. That
Mexico.
was a race.
Mexico.
It was so good. The fans were the best.
Yes. Hola, mi amigos.
Yes.
Te amo mucho.
We love you. Whatever she says. But no, I think they were like up there.
Yeah,
with fans.
massive.
And they like are massive fans of Sergio Perez.
I know.
And a bit embarrassing for him.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
really bad.
I've been seeing so much controversy about that, and it like really cleared my head. Not cleared my head, but I guess made things make more sense about why it's not that easy to actually get rid of Sergio Perez. There's a lot of politics. There's a lot of controversy. Yeah.
Okay, right.
So we can go over that in this episode because there is actually a lot of controversy about that.
Okay.
Not controversy,
because I do wonder why they still have him. Bearing in mind Red Bull are so ruthless.
Yeah.
With their drivers. Why are they not being like that?
Sergio Perez brings in millions in sponsorship. That, like, you saw the fan base in Mexico. He is probably the biggest celebrity in Mexico. One of. He's got like all of the ad sponsorships. He is massive, and he brings in millions and millions and millions. And as soon as they get rid of him, there is no South American representation within Formula One, which basically knocks out like an entire continent of fans. Obviously Mexico, huge, but then like the South American continent.
Sergio and Red Bull, surely not.
Well, would you say that about any Italian fan? Would an Italian fan think of supporting anyone other than a Ferrari?
Yeah, but they'll still have the Ferrari.
Yeah, that's true. It's different, but like they don't have anything else like that. I mean, maybe like they have. I don't know. Except again, I'm assuming, and this is all from TikTok knowledge, but like he brings in dollar bills.
That did actually remind me. I did see something, and they were saying that he obviously brings in loads, but the sponsorships are going to be like, nah.
Yeah.
Since
stop
his outcomes,
him.
they're not going to sponsor him anymore. So they are going to lose out on a lot, Red Bull. So they're going to have to contemplate. I mean, he literally came last.
I know, so embarrassing.
It's his
in his
worst
home race.
one in his home race ever. But let's go on to the race.
Yeah, should we get straight into it?
Let's go straight into it.
Let's get straight into it. I made some funny notes, as always. When I do watch it live, my notes make zero sense.
Yeah, but we love it. It's in the moment.
At the top it says Alonso 400. Now I think we should give a little
400th race. That is insane. He's 43. Like, what are you doing, babes?
Well done.
But we love it.
We love it.
I mean, it just shows that he's very fit and healthy.
Yeah, unfortunately you did DNF.
But it's okay. It wasn't your fault. It was the car.
It was the car.
So...
And he, like, this is a huge milestone. This will forever go down in history.
Yeah,
he is
100%.
now the longest running. Well, I think he's been that maybe for a little while, but like,
it's actually crazy.
400 is
insane.
He was. I think it said his first race in Formula One was before 3 of the current drivers were even born.
Does he not feel like? I don't know, like the old.
Yeah, when he like bumps into like Oliver Burman, and he's just like,
hey, like fresh out the womb.
How y'all doing?
How y'all doing? Fresh out the womb, I see.
Yeah.
No, but I want to talk about that because Liam Lawson and him had a thing last weekend. And then Liam Lawson then had another issue with Sergio Perez, and he's really annoying these top drivers. Like, how many races has Liam Lawson done in Formula One compared to Fernando Alonso, and he's managed to piss him off that much? It's insane.
I don't really get it. I'm trying to like put myself into his mindset. Like, I don't know. I guess I couldn't do that being like so innately like a teacher's pet. Like, but like he's like come straight into it.
Yeah.
And this like arrogance, confidence.
then
Where has this come from? And like for what?
Don't you have to be like that?
Well, no, but the others aren't like.
Well, they
doing that,
are.
they? But they're not like.
Look at Max.
First
Well,
race
yeah,
in.
To be fair,
Yeah, but Max is
middle
like
finger,
however in.
He basically put a middle finger up at Sergio Perez when he overtook him, or
Yeah.
their whole thing
And I was literally like,
happened.
but for why?
I think just to be like,
Yeah.
but I don't get why he's allowed to put his middle finger up, but then they're not allowed to physically swear.
Yeah, agreed.
So he didn't get like a penalty for that or anything. But did you hear post-race interview? Charles, yeah.
Yeah, I did. And he was
loud and clear,
I know.
like loud and clear. He didn't even hesitate. It was just straight
And he
up.
literally went, "Oh no, I don't want to be like
"Oh,
Max."
I don't want to be like Max. He dealt with it very well. I would have gone
Yeah.
super red. Like I would have got really
I mean,
embarrassed.
I honestly think like bless them because like obviously that is just part of your vocabulary and speech, so
Yeah,
you just
I'd
forget
find
about
it
it
really
sometimes.
hard.
I find it so hard.
When I'm with my little brother, I really find it hard.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah, me
every
too.
other word I want to
Yeah.
swear.
Also, on the topic of Charles, did you see? I'm actually a bit mad at you, Charles, if you're watching. I love you very much. One of my favourite drivers, but you need a telling off. Because why the hell are you ignoring
I need
your
to see
friend
this.
Carlos when he's just won the race and you're just like ignoring him?
No, are you sure?
No.
Because think about how it is after a race. They're so tired. They're very like, it's all over the place. Surely there's loads and loads of people. Surely it wasn't intentional.
Let me try.
I need to
and
see this
find
video
right.
because I need to
Carlos.
make my mind up first.
Look at this.
No, I need to see more. I need to see more. You can't just... Wait, give it here. Did he see it?
Not with the Lord of the Rings music. Not with the Shire song. I love this song. What do you think? What do you think?
Okay, so now I've seen it.
What do you think? Am I being silly?
Why? I'm trying to think why Charles would have been
Yeah.
pissed, because it's not like he was probably specifically annoyed at Carlos, but maybe about something that he needed to go talk
Or
to
maybe
get
just
someone
like
about
Lando
quickly.
overtaking him right at the end there.
Yeah. No, I get that 100%. Like, you're going to be annoyed, and he's clearly wanting to, like, talk to someone about something because
Yeah.
he's not happy with something or whatever it might be. But your teammate has just won the race.
Yeah.
And they're very...
And you're just like...
But they seemed happy after, no?
Yeah, I mean, I saw like Lando was with Carlos's whole fam at
I
their
saw
celebration.
that, yeah.
Which is really cute.
Yeah, that is sweet.
Um,
Why wasn't Charles there?
where's Charles? Like,
Maybe, are they that close? I don't even know.
I don't think it's that deep. I really don't think it's that deep. I'm just a bit upset about it. I think they are friends because they've been teammates for ages. I wonder, conspiracy theory alert, and we have to like try not to become a conspiracy theory channel, but I was wondering if this might be a PR thing, and if Ferrari have said, look, you guys are about to not be teammates anymore. Carlos is leaving. You need to start like distancing yourself publicly because we need this to be a clean break. That's what I wonder.
Yeah, but it's not going to be.
If they've told Charles that, because they're not going to tell Carlos that.
People are still going to make sad edits of them two together.
Yeah, obvi. But
next
that's
year,
probably
and
why
saying
they're
they
like...
miss the Carlos
Yeah.
and Charles duo. So no
Obvi.
matter what.
But like, I wonder if they're like, just like, stop feeding them.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But obviously Carlos won the race and
Yeah.
we love it for him. It says it was his 4th F1 race. Don't know if that's
Win.
true. Did I just say race?
Yeah, I was like, wow, really good rookie.
No, win. But he has made it very clear in post-race interviews that he is obviously quite sad to leave Ferrari as they are starting to, these new upgrades that have come about, they're starting to look like maybe they will be in the running for the World Championship next year. And he's sad to miss out on that because obviously he's going to Williams and hopefully he'll do well. I mean, where did Franco Colapinto, he came P12, and obviously Alex DNF'd, but that wasn't technically him or the car's fault. That was Yuki's fault, because they crashed literally in the first
Gasly's
season.
fault.
Oh, was it as well? Well, Gasly was fine. Gasly didn't DNF,
Yeah.
so he missed out there. But so we know the car can do it, and potentially, obviously, nowhere as near as Ferrari, but hopefully bringing Carlos in will generate more money for them. Surely,
Yeah,
no?
I hope so. Yeah. I hope it pours in with sponsors, but that won't necessarily affect next year necessarily,
Yeah.
because the car they've got for next year will have been in the works for 2 years, as we know from our F1 exhibition homework / experience. Like, they will have been building that car for 2 years / more, because also 2025 brings in a whole massive change in regulation, a whole massive change in the car. All the cars next year are going to be completely, utterly different. So that could be a good thing for Williams, because we do not know what they're like going to do. Like, next year, Williams might be winning and Ferrari might have like majorly messed up and be at the bottom. Unlikely, but that's like how different the changes in 2025, 2026 are expected to be.
Yeah, it's looking pretty crazy for next year, but this has just turned out to be such a good season.
Yeah, I know.
It's been so good.
I saw a graphic that was like showing 2023 but next to 2024 race winners, and it just like Max Verstappen hasn't won a race since June.
Yeah, it's insane. But that is literally what we wanted.
Yeah.
And our prayers were answered. And this, I just can't wait for next year as well. And things changing a lot more with the drivers. But I do feel sorry for Carlos. He looks pretty upset.
And he was like, I've been a major part of these changes for Ferrari.
Will Ferrari regret it? Like, let's talk about it. Lewis Hamilton, he's a 7th world champion. And I'm just thinking, obviously, he's not performing as well, and he hasn't been for a while. Are Ferrari going to regret it?
Yeah.
Because Carlos has won more races this year than Lewis. And I know, obviously, cars come into play, but I don't know if they made a mistake.
I know.
To be honest.
We will know very soon.
Yeah.
Next year,
and I can't wait. But what else are we going to talk about? Haas. Well,
I'm just getting my notes back up again.
I was like, oh my god, what's happened?
No.
It said that. Wait, let me get it up. What clue?
We quickly mentioned you mentioned the Alex and Yuki situation. That was pretty rough.
Did mention
that happened very early on, literally
early on.
Starting lap. But I think it was determined to be Gasly's fault, though I don't know how much you can really blame him, because well, it was his fault in that he made like a fraction of a move to the left, but because like Alex and Yuki were so close, and Yuki was coming up with like literally no gap.
Yeah, it was kind of Yuki's fault as well.
Yeah.
Because he left no room.
Well,
I don't know how he thought that was going to turn out well.
Yeah. I think the commentators were saying like Yuki, what Yuki was doing is like perfectly fair, but there was no room for him to like make any wrong move.
Yeah.
So that's what happened there. Peak for them.
But what I was going to say about Haas is in the final stint, Kevin Magnussen was the quickest non-Ferrari, McLaren and Mercedes car. So
love that.
Love that for him. I just thought that was a great
love
one.
Haas ending up in the points.
Yes, I know. This is great for them. Who'd have thought? Haas, like when I was watching Drive to Survive, and obviously in all of those seasons, Haas are just terrible, like absolutely.
Yeah, but you know what made it better?
Gunter.
Yeah,
no, of course. But this year they've been absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, they've been smashing it.
And it's to be honest, Kix Alba, who is just terrible. I'm sorry, they're just terrible. Like,
and Alpine.
And Joe, look, Joe, we love you, but babes, you're not doing very well. You're not really giving anything. But I don't necessarily. Is it his fault? is he a good driver? I don't really know much about him. I don't really know anything about his background. I don't know how good he is as a driver, so I don't know. I can't say much, but it's terrible. They need to sort something out for next year, because it's actually insane. But he actually Joe, where is Joe Gagnon? He came P15. So he did beat Liam Lawson and Sergio Perez. So maybe I do slightly take that back.
This is what I mean. Like, you don't hear him much. I think he's pretty mid. Like, you don't hear him much. You don't hear him doing very well. But you don't always hear him doing really bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just not much. Not much. Same as Lance Stroll. I mean, again, he P11, wasn't in the points. I really don't know what to say about Lance, but Aston Martin, well, obviously, that reminded me of Fernando Alonso. And Christian Horner said he wouldn't put it past him. He did a post-race conference. Him, the Aston Martin team principal and Haas team principal, and they mentioned, like, would he consider taking Fernando Alonso for a Red Bull seat. But to be honest, it's all over the place. But no, it's not going to happen. He just likes to kind of play with it, I think. But I mean, they also said who else was going to have a seat: Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda. At one point, it was Daniel Ricciardo. That's not happened. I mean, it's just like, who else?
Yeah, who else are you going to throw in the mix?
Who are you going to pick?
Yeah.
Do I even care at this point, Christian? No.
No.
Just pick someone, for goodness sake.
Perez got a penalty for one of the most embarrassing reasons, a false start. Lol.
Oh, that is embarrassing. No, but can we talk about this? Because when we went to the F1 exhibition...
Yeah.
Sorry, why is it so hard?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I literally...
We were too slow.
I was too early, I thought.
Oh, you did one time. Yeah, you did one time. False start.
Yeah, and then it was... I
kept getting 0.33, and apparently the average is 0.16. And I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, no way. That's a lie. Sorry. How? I didn't know that was a thing. I just thought the lights go, they all know when to go. It's like anything, but it's really not.
Their reaction time, yeah.
Their reaction time has to be specific,
spot
on point. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, they had a little kerfuffle, didn't they? They were racing each other, which was quite fun to see. And that was actually good bit of racing, unlike someone called Max Verstappen.
Yeah, who needs to be given a rule book.
Yeah, and it looks like they are going to change a few of the rules because of what happened with Lando and Max. But I mean, mate, I know it's racing, but
it's really
very
interesting.
Aggressive.
Very aggressive. It's really interesting how the last two races, like Texas and Mexico, we've seen this very highly contentious pushing off the track situation. Obviously in Texas we saw it happen and Lando didn't give the space back, and then Lando got penalised for it, but he was saying that Max pushed him off and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And now we see it again here, but the opposite happened, and Max so obviously pushing Lando off.
Yeah.
Like actually
Twice.
Physically so silly. Well, first time was like contact, wasn't it? The first penalty.
Yeah, well, they did touch.
Yeah.
Their wheels did have a little touch.
I've got here Lando and Verstappen getting super brutal, pushing each other off at every apex, in quotes. I just have to avoid a crash, Lando keeps saying.
Yeah,
Max ran Lando off the road.
That's what I was literally going to say.
Yeah.
Is Lando's just like, well, I'm going to have to have it, like, it's not fair. Like, race, yeah, but race fairly. But then I also do see the other side where I'm like, you have to be aggressive to win, but then again, he got 20 seconds penalty and he's just lost loads of points, and he could have just
behaved
and not acted like that.
It was so silly. I mean, good tea. I loved it.
Yeah,
from that perspective.
100% as you're watching it. But then when you are looking at from Lando's point of view, I feel kind of bad for him, because he's like, look, I need to start being more aggressive, and I know there's things I need to work on, but it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. So the first penalty was a 10-second penalty for forcing Lando off the road and wheel banging. And then the second 10-second penalty, equating to 20 seconds, was for Max leaving the track and then gaining the advantage.
Yeah.
And that was the, like, really extreme, like, lunge that he would have never made it round from. Like, he literally went from, like, this corner of the turn, like the inner corner of the corner, like straight to the where Lando was on the outer, and he was just like, you would have never ever have turned. You're forcing him off, and then you've gained an advantage. Silly Billy. And then it was so embarrassing to watch him sit there in the pit and get his pit crew all staring at him, ready to go. And then when he was asked, like, what would you have done differently or whatever, and he was just like, maybe grab a drink in the pit because I had enough time.
Max, I want to love you. I want to love you.
King.
I want to love you. But sometimes, I don't know, you give me bad energy, but I don't know you personally. So, anyway.
I think it's quite funny. I mean, I think he does...
It is funny, but when you're not a Red Bull fan, it doesn't help.
No. I think like, even Red Bull fans can look at that move and be like...
Yeah. But the one thing that also annoyed me about Red Bull was Christian Horner, what a shocker. And he went to the press with the printed out... You didn't see this?
No, I didn't see this.
Okay, so
what?
he went to the press and he sat down and he went with the literal statistics to try and explain why Max was not wrong, and I don't really get it, to be honest, because
Printed
at the end of the day, that's not
out.
going to do anything for you. Like, the penalty happened, the race has happened, like, you can't do anything now. Like, they're just trying to prove time and time again, like, they're always right, and they're not. I mean, they may tell Max off occasionally, but from what I see and what I feel is like it's like he's the, like, Christian Horner is a mum who, like, cares a little and loves a bit too much of their son, and they just can't, they do no wrong. You know, the mums and the son duo where the son can do no wrong and then the son ends up turning out to be like a murderer or something, and like the mum's just like, well, you know, he's my son and we love him no matter what, even though he's in prison for murder. It's like, no, you
Jess watches a lot of true crime, everyone.
I do watch a lot of true crime, but it gives me, it's giving mum and son duo, like toxic energy. Just tell him off. Just like actually stop giving
Sit him
this
on the
pedestal.
naughty step.
Yeah, but stop giving him this pedestal. Like, I know he's your baby and I know he's such an amazing driver and you guys were amazing last year and the year before that and the year before that. But at the end of the day, just it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing behaviour and it's really starting to annoy me.
Yes, Jess.
But anyway.
No, that was really good.
Thanks.
I felt the passion and anger coming from you. It was really good.
Thanks, yeah. But anyway, what else is there?
I think the only other thing, well, there's a couple things, but like the only other major thing was obviously Lando getting second place and Charles going down to third right at the end there.
Yes, Charles messed up.
He messed up, but actually, really, he saved it. Because he came out of that corner.
Time.
Yeah, again, amazing. Shows his actual skill, because the commentators were saying at the time, like, the fact he didn't end up in the wall from that is actually really crazy. So
and that would have been, I would have cried.
Yeah, fully. So I think Charles, there was some oversteer going on. So he came around the corner and there was some oversteer and you saw him literally wobble. There was like a full-on wobble and he was mere inches from the wall. Obviously Lando was able to then sweep past him and gain that advantage, but Charles was able to keep the car, get the car back steady and keep it on like a straight foot and remain in third place, which honestly I think he should be proud of, because that is like still amazing and a major win that he didn't end up in the wall from that maneuver that many other drivers would have done. So I still think it's a major win. I was slightly upset for him. He made it the whole race. Ferrari won too, but obviously I love Lando and well done for them all.
Yeah, I just need to show you.
Yeah,
personally.
No, that's
It's so fucking
Sorry for
icky.
everyone. That is such an ick. I'm currently looking at a picture of Christian Horner looking at some kind of chart in dark mode.
It's
Like,
the
why would you print
data.
out in dark mode?
It's
Because that's
just
a
the
waste of black
data.
ink. Oh.
Yeah, such a waste of black ink. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. I mean, it's just embarrassing if you've seen the picture. If not, can we put it on screen?
Yeah,
please,
you're gonna
if
send
you're
me a screenshot.
watching. It's embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Really embarrassing.
And one little final thing I want to just mention, if we can put it on screen again, that would be amazing. But when Lando, they were celebrating when they get P1, P2, P3, they celebrate in a group picture with the driver and the team. And Carlos actually photobombed one of Lando's photos.
The McLaren team photo.
Yeah, the McLaren team photo. So then in the Mexico Ferrari team photo celebrating P1 and P3, Zach Brown also photobombed, and I just thought that was quite funny.
I thought Zach Brown photobombed the Ferrari one first, and then Carlos went and photobombed the McLaren one after.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, maybe it was then. I don't know.
That's just the order I have seen it on TikTok.
It probably is that then.
Nah, I don't know. But it was very cute, and
It
I
was
love the
cute.
camaraderie, the friendship, the teamness.
It's just
They love each other so much.
They just love each other. Like Carlos and Lando's relationship.
It's so cute.
Why do I want a friendship like that? Now I have one. We're the Carlos and Lando.
Oh,
Aww,
that's the
I know,
biggest
I'm just
compliment.
So cute. Should we move on?
Yes, Calapinto though, he did get a
Oh.
10-second penalty
Oh,
for colliding with Liam Lawson.
oh.
That's it.
Those drivers, they are just giving what we wanted from F2. And speaking of F2, we have got an episode for you.
Woo! So if you watched last week's episode, that is currently not online, but should be at this point.
Oh, yeah. They don't even know at this point.
No, well, they
They
do
don't
now.
even know if they even watch it. Anyway. No,
If you
it's
watched
fine.
last week's episode, well, not last week's because we don't post that regularly. The last episode.
We literally had a comment. Whoever this person is, love you for actually thinking where have these girls gone? Because they commented, are you guys not posting no more?
Yeah,
Or
why are
something
you
like
guys
that.
not
Why are you
posting on anymore? And I'm like, that is really
We
sweet
have
that you
literally
noticed.
sat down and filmed. We
But
just have not uploaded.
uploaded it. But just saying, there was a 3-week break.
So that does contribute.
That accounted for most of that time. But anyway, you're right. Why haven't we posted? Anyway, so if you watched the last episode,
And if you haven't, go watch it.
go watch it now. Actually, no, when you finish this one. We do this segment at the end where we pick out a card, and that card will determine a little history segment in the next episode. So the card that we picked out was Victor Martins, who is an F2 driver. Now, Jess and I don't know a lot about F2, so we decided...
I don't know anything.
Yeah, literally anything. I have learned so much in my research.
Okay.
So
I can't
this is
wait.
exciting.
Yay.
We decided to not just do Victor Martins, though I am going to do a little bit about him in this as well, to be fair. We decided to do a whole little F2 lesson in history recap. So I'm going to try and do it pretty fast. I am going to be not reading from my notes, so we'll see. But
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I'm excited.
So, strap in. F2. I'm going to start with just talking about F2, how it is, how it works. Then I'll go into a bit of history. But basically, F2 is designed to be the leading filler for F1. So that is the next category down from F1, and that is where F1 is scouting for new drivers. So it's all a place to build kind of young talent. Drivers in F2 are usually in their late teens or early 20s, and their main aim is to get to F1. not every F2 driver does make it into F1. A strong performance in F2, even winning the championship, will lead to an F1 seat, or can lead to an F1 seat. And former champions of F2 include Charles Leclerc and George Russell.
Really?
Yeah, former F2 champions.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is a really key point that I feel like you're like, because I was literally like, what the heck? So to be an F1 driver, you need a super license. And to get a super license, that requires 40 points. You get those points in F2. So similar to F1, you're, winning races or getting in a certain position.
Is it the same point system?
Slightly, basically the same, but slightly different, just because there's not the same number of teams or anything. But basically the same. So the way that the points work are that the winner of a feature race, which is the name of the main race in a F2 weekend, gets 25 points. That's the same. But the winner in the sprint race gets 10 points. So I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But so to drive in F1, you need 40 points. Good performance in F2, you get awarded these points, and then you can qualify to drive in F1. So there's 11 to 12 teams. Oh, sorry, Jess. Yes.
But that doesn't mean you are guaranteed.
No, you're not
a
guaranteed.
seat. So what does that mean? It just means you can. If a seat becomes available.
Yeah, so similar, F1 teams will let some F2 drivers drive in FP1, for example, or when they really need a backup reserve driver, you get someone like Oliver Berman. Literally. He has a super license.
Right. Okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. So there are 11 to 12 teams in F2, each with 2 drivers, same as Formula 1, but obviously much less teams.
Yeah.
Unlike Formula 1, where each team designs its own car, F2 teams all drive the same exact car model. This makes it a fair and equal playing field. So it's not about the technology, it's more about driver skill.
Okay, I might give this a watch,
Yeah, it's really cool. And for any car lovers out there, the car is a Dallara chassis with a Mechachrome V6 turbocharged engine.
Woo!
That means nothing to me, but I hope it means something for you.
Yeah, literally nothing.
But so they all drive that exact same car. And the funding for F2, obviously, still very expensive.
Yeah.
But supposed to be a lot cheaper than F1. F2 teams are sponsored in the same way. Wealthy families, sponsors, or sometimes F1 teams sponsor and support F2 drivers. Yes.
And
Sorry.
don't they also have their own, like Red Bull, for example?
No. Well,
do they put money into F2? Have they done that?
So yeah, I think they do. They support. I think they more support drivers. Maybe this is maybe where my knowledge is lacking. But so the teams are entirely different to F1. They're not there's not really many overlapping teams. So I think F1 teams do sponsor drivers, and some drivers can be in the Red Bull Driver Academy or the Ferrari Academy, and for example, when they're coming up in that
race for F2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have
and
that
just
support.
Training them as well and give them.
Yeah, they do sponsor them. So that's one of the options. F1 teams can be sponsors as well, for drivers, I think.
Okay.
But maybe also teams. I don't know. Let us know. Maybe this is a bit I'm missing. So drivers often need funding to secure a seat, but the costs are significantly lower than F1. So back to the format of an F2 race weekend. So I think there are. Anyway, skip that. I was going to say, but yes. So there are 12 to 14 F2 race weekends, and they all correlate with F1 races. That didn't used to be the case, and I'll cover that a bit when I go through the history. But they all happen at the same time as F1 races. It makes it really good for the F1 teams to be there and be able to scout the F2 drivers and watch them, see their skills. And it also gives the F2 drivers experience of actually being in the environment, in the paddock, with the F1 situation. So it's all about basically work experience.
Yeah, literally.
Which I thought was quite cute. So, a F2 weekend consists of 2 races, a sprint race and a feature race. So the feature race is the main race, and the sprint race happens before that. So obviously we have sprint races in F1 as well, but they don't happen all the time. Whereas F2, every F2 race weekend has that.
And you can get points just from sprint races, right?
Yes, so you get points from the sprint race and points from the feature race.
Yeah.
So a sprint race is typically held on the Saturday with a shorter length and fewer points awarded. The starting grid is based on a reverse of the top 10 qualifiers. This took me a bit to understand.
Yeah, I was just going to say, can you repeat that, please?
So they do the qualifying on like whenever, maybe Saturday morning. Or Friday, no, I'm guessing. Yeah, well, they'll qualify before the sprint and the feature race, but it's the same qualifying for both, right? And
when does that take place?
Friday afternoon. Okay, so F2 qualifying takes place on the Friday afternoon, then they have the sprint on the Saturday, and then they have the feature race on the Sunday. So whatever they get in the qualifying, position-wise, the top 10 qualifiers are reversed for the sprint. So if you came in first qualifying in the sprint race, you will be 10th.
Why?
I don't know why. I think, well, that was like confusing for me. So
are we sure about that?
Yeah. So drivers
100%.
Yeah, 100%. So drivers complete a qualifying session and their times determine the grid for the feature race, just like in Formula 1. So if you come pole position in qualifying, you're first in the feature race. For the sprint race, only the top 10 qualifiers are reversed.
Just for the sprint.
Just for the sprint. And only the top 10. So if you come 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever, you remain in that position. But if you're within the top 10, your positions are reversed. So if a driver qualifies first, they'll start the sprint race in 10th position. If a driver qualifies 10th, they'll start the sprint race in first position.
Right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really matter, right? Because the sprint race is
really quick.
Yeah.
So the sprint race is really quick, much shorter. It basically is to give more drivers the chance of scoring points, because you can score points in a sprint race. Well, like first place gets 10 points and then it goes down. So reversing adds more excitement, more of a battle.
Okay.
Enables more of the drivers to have that chance. And also then you've got like whoever came in pole, you've got that exciting of them trying to like really overtake and win it back.
Okay, cool.
But that does make me wonder, like, F2 drivers out there watching this podcast, does that make you want to not come first in the qualifying? But then,
well,
no, probably not,
then
because
in the race,
yeah,
like the
you are
actual
first.
race, it's back to whatever you got in qualifying.
Yeah.
Like, I think the sprint is just exciting bit to get more points.
Yeah.
And see what you can do.
Yeah, I think that would add a bit
know.
of like crazy excitement.
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah.
We need to watch this.
We need to
That's
watch
a Friday,
this.
Saturday night. That's good times. Good times.
We'll watch the next one. So points are awarded for race finishes, fastest lap, and qualifying positions. So the winner of the feature race receives 25 points, as I said, while the sprint race winner receives 10 points. Bonus points are given for achieving pole position and setting the fastest lap.
Okay.
Yay!
Cool.
Championships. At the end of the season, the driver with the most points, blah blah, wins the F2 driver championship, and that team could win the F2 teams championship. Whoever that top driver is the first person in line for Formula 1. I mean, not actually. They're just like very good, but they might not actually get that, as we've seen loads of other drivers have got into F1 before, like maybe a championship winner. But theoretically, that championship winner should be like the main headhunted for
and there has been a driver who hasn't got into F1 who's won the F2 championship.
I think the current F2 championship isn't in F1 yet. Right, let me look it up. Current
so the car's all the same, that means it's not specific teams. It's more about drivers. It's
It's
just
all
drivers.
about the drivers, yeah.
So they all have the same kind of engineers, mechanics.
I think so. I mean, it's not that, like, obviously, right, like in Formula One, the cars could be made up completely differently. So you have that advantage that Haas don't have the same funding and they don't have anywhere near the good car that Ferrari does. But in F2, there's not that difference.
Yeah.
Who is the current F2 champion? Gabriel Bortoleto is the current drivers' champion.
What, that he's leading or he won last year?
Who won? Let's see. Oh, so Theo Pourchaire won the 2023 Formula 2 championship. And he's not moving up into F1 this year / next year.
So what do they do? Do they go race again for F2? They just stay in F2? Is that?
So, I mean, I guess I don't know if there's like maybe a time limit, because obviously I know that in F1 Academy there's a time limit. I don't think he's currently driving in F2. So I think he might be a reserve driver for F1.
But they do have car like names, like Art Grand Prix.
Yeah, so they have the team names. Yeah.
Team names. That's what I meant, right?
Yeah, so there's Art, Prima, Rodin. What's that?
Lucas Oil.
Dams, Lucas Oil, Invicta Racing, MP Motorsport, Van Amersfoort Racing,
VAR.
Hitch Pulse 8, Campus Racing, Trident.
But that has a Red Bull sponsorship.
Yeah. So F1 teams can sponsor them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a Red Bull sponsoring Campos Racing. What other? I mean, I do see yellow. I don't know if that orange. Sorry, I don't know if that is McLaren sponsoring VAR.
But they don't necessarily sponsor the team. They sponsor the individual drivers. So in one team, one driver might be sponsored by Red Bull.
Yeah,
and
we've got Alpine
McLaren
here as well with Art.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can see the one of the drivers for Art. He's sponsored by Alpine. One of them's in the Alpine suit, and the other one's not.
Yeah.
So okay. Right, okay, I think I get it. It's a bit confusing, but...
Yeah, there's a lot. But, so, I mean, it's not guaranteed to get an F1 seat, obviously.
But I'm still like, what happens, in F2? Do they just keep going, and then if they don't get into F1, what do they do? But it's like, well, what happens after F1 when these drivers lose a seat? They can't go back to F2, so they end up doing another motorsport
or being reserve drivers. So Theo is currently a Sauber Academy driver, and he has been since 2017. So maybe he's waiting for a Sauber seat. I'll move on to a little bit of history and try and speed through that. So, early Formula 2. Formula 2 was created in 1948 for the exact same purpose that it still stands today, as to be a place to establish future Formula 1 talent and drivers. It was meant to develop drivers and the teams. Cars were a lot less powerful, a lot lighter, and very much less risky. So F2 in this period, so between 1948 and 1985, lost a lot of popularity due to how expensive it was becoming. And there were lots of other feeder series, so these are other motorsports that were also feeding champions into F1 that were competing against this F2, and it was becoming really expensive. So that soon became scrapped for Formula 3000. Formula 3000 was between 1985 and 2004, and that was the same thing that F2 is now. This was named after the 3.0 litre engines Again, doesn't really mean much to me. But this was supposed to kind of fight that budget friendly. This was supposed to be a bit more lower cost. And this is when they brought in the standardized chassis and engine for all drivers. And it was very successful, but again, faced financial challenges and started to become more expensive, which defeated the point of its making in the first place. So then, after Formula 3000 came GP2 series between 2005 and 2016. And this produced some great drivers that we know today, like Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, and Roman Grosjean, all came through the GP2 series. What was it? So this is when they first introduced that GP2 series would happen on the same weekends as Formula 1. So before they were happening on a completely different race schedule, but now they introduced it to be the same weekends as Formula 1 to get that work experience feel.
Yes.
And so the F1 teams could spot and scout F2 drivers. And it's very similar to the structure that we have today. And then in 2017, Formula 2 was reintroduced, and that is the same structure that we have today. It was rebranded as the FIA Formula 2, making it an official F1 feeder series. The FIA aimed to streamline driver progression with a clear path from Formula 4 to Formula 3, finally Formula 2, before reaching Formula 1. So this is a much more standardized process, whereas before there would have been lots of other feeder series. And yeah, it's fully integrated into F1 now. The points awarded are obviously to get to an F1 super license. And F2 graduates include Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Lando Norris.
Woo!
Big names, guys. Big
names.
And that is the evolution of Formula 2.
Whoa.
So some key drivers are our very own Victor Martins.
Ooh, so is he a big one in F2 then?
Yeah, Victor Martins drives for Art Grand Prix. He's a standout driver with early title contender. Martin is coming off an impressive season.
How old is he?
He is, I've got up his F2 little profile here. So cute. His birthday, the 16th of June 2001. Oh God.
No, to be fair, I'm only 2000, so
Okay.
not that far.
He's literally 1 year younger than you.
I'm like, fuck.
His
He
height.
looks too old to be 2001, don't you think?
Yeah, he does.
That's why I asked, because I was like, it's a bit old.
He's French, and his
Ooh,
height
bonjour.
is bonjour. His height is 173
specific.
centimeters.
Okay.
Girl, I only work in feet, so I don't know what that is.
I'm 100 and... I don't want to say because I don't actually know what centimetres I am.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
I'm
I don't know what that is.
only 5'3".
Yeah, I'm 5'2".
I'm taller than you. No, you need to be measured because I got measured the other day and I'm 5'3".
Okay, I'll be
You're
measured.
definitely taller than me.
Started karting when he was 10.
Ooh, 10.
Yeah.
That's a bit old.
Bit late, mate.
Yeah, a bit late.
Retire. And in 2017, he made his move into single-seater racing, and he finished second in the French F4 Championship before winning Formula Renault in 2020. So he then went into Formula 3, and he came 5th place in 2021.
Okay.
He then returned in 2022 with Art Grand Prix, who he's with, to take the title, winning 2 races in a tightly contested championship affair. I'm quoting now here. He then made the step up to FIA Formula 2, where he again came 5th. He must be cursing that place. Earning the prize of being the top rookie in 2003. 23.
2023. Oh, okay.
2023.
So he's doing quite well.
Yeah. So, cutie, bless him, Victor Martins.
Yeah, very cute.
He drives for Art Grand Prix. Some
Woo.
other notable ones that we've heard a lot about and we've talked about already on this podcast. Oliver Berman,
Yeah.
Kimi Antonelli,
Yeah.
and then obviously Franco Colapinto as well.
Yeah. Liam Lawson?
Yes, probably. I don't know. He's not on my list. I think so, but he's been a reserve driver for Red Bull / RB for a while.
F2. You can do both.
Yeah.
But then once you're in Formula One, you can't go back. So
Yeah.
like once you fail in Formula One,
No.
it's
Yeah.
very much like done, which is really sad.
Yeah, I
like really
know.
sad. Like Logan Sargent, for example, he's just golfing at the minute. That's
He's probably loving it, but
yeah, probably. But like, I still think about that video of when he was younger, when he just had these big dreams.
yeah,
It's just like
it's just
actually
so sad.
soul crushing.
Okay, this is
Tough
what
world out there.
the
I could
Google.
not do it.
No, I couldn't do it. This is what the Google AI overview says when I googled how long can a driver stay in F2. So one rule that limits a driver's time in F2 is the former champions are not allowed to return to the series. So that's why that Theo guy is probably.
Wait, what?
So a former champion of F2 is not allowed to return to F2 for 2 years after winning the title. This rule is in place to prevent drivers from staying in the same championship for too long and gaining an advantage over younger drivers.
Oh, this
So
is
once
a
you
lot.
win-
This is a lot.
Once you win,
That's
you kind of
it.
hope that F1 will pick you up.
Yeah, but
Otherwise, you're there
that
for
ain't
2 years and then
and then
go
what
back
are you
again.
doing? Just
milling
what's he
about.
doing now? Can we Google?
Theo.
What are you doing, darling? Do you want to come on the podcast?
It just says he's a Sauber Academy driver.
Oh, so he's just doing okay. I think that's a lot.
It's a lot. A lot of
and,
information.
I mean, I can't deal with it. I don't know how they deal with that mentally. Like the competition, like I can't. I did karting race for Kieran's birthday. I was literally like, I can't compete.
Anyways, that was
Okay,
my
should we-
F2 brief history
Thank
and
you
recap.
so
and
much. That was
listen.
really good.
Was it
I've
good?
learnt- yeah,
Was it
I've
okay?
learned a lot. I think that's really informative.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, very happy. I now know more. Can't
Me
wait
too.
to watch it and learn even more.
Yeah, and get more drama. I really do think that sprint race situation will be exciting.
Yeah, there's some drama that's gonna come about. Right, let's pick a card for next.
Okay, you pick this
week.
time because I picked last time.
I can see. I'm just gonna shut
Sorry,
my eyes.
sorry.
No. No. No.
Is it good?
No.
You have to do it. You have
Guys.
to.
I picked fucking Christian Horner.
You have to do it. He's got a really interesting career.
I really despise him, and now I have to do a whole history episode on a person I despise in the industry.
You've got to be non-biased.
Okay, do you know what I will be? Maybe this will change my opinion of you, Christian.
That is so
Whatever,
funny.
That is quite funny.
Okay, well, I'm
Anyway.
really excited for that then. This will be amazing.
Yeah.
Let's hope that Brazil is super boring so the whole episode can just be Jess talking about Christian.
No. Please don't do this to me.
Joking.
Please don't do this to me.
No.
But yeah, click the like button and subscribe because that's very important. And comment anything you'd like us to talk about or anything we missed. Anything you want to say. Your opinions, we like them.
We love to
We
hear
wanna
your
read them
thoughts and
out.
opinions.
Yes, I love it.
All engagement is good engagement.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Anyway, see you in Brazil.
Bye-bye.
Bye.